Hey guys, Steve Zonardo here with Remax West, Zonardo Associates. Happy Monday morning. Just a quick update on the market. Current inventory and sales of the last week, very similar to last week. We sold 1,740 units in the last 7 days, and there's 12,567 units on the market, so it's actually getting less than last week. And we are finding shortages with properties right now. Looking out, like we have specific buyers looking for properties, and it's very difficult right now currently to find properties that we're liking to purchase. So what we're doing now is we're doing more of a buyer's campaign where we're starting to market different areas regarding letters, cold calling, door knocking to see if we can drum up some inventory for some of our clients that have sold and are looking for a property. So that's the current status of the market right now. So it's very, very much similar to the last, let's say, 3 to 5 weeks. Just looking at there was an article written about credit debt. So basically they're saying credit debt is down. I believe it's something like 30%, something of that nature. So credit debt is down, they're saying, than usual. And mortgage have grown to 26%. So what's happened? If this is a direct correlation with the credit with the credit debt going down. Just to touch on the last point, talking about credit debt is getting lower and mortgage amounts are getting higher by 26%. So they don't give us an amount that how much credit debt is getting lower, but they said a lot of Canadians are carrying a lot less credit debt, which is awesome. And savings have gone up about 28%, so which is awesome. This is all great news. But just to debunk a little bit of the credit debt going down, is basically if you ever applied for a mortgage, what happens is you have to fulfill a few commitments prior to the bank lending you the mortgage amount that you need for your property. So what they'll do is they'll basically look at your total debt ratio and your income and say, okay, we'll give you X amount of dollars for this property on closing, but you need to fulfill 3 to 5 of these commitments prior. And usually they come up, it's usually a car loan that needs to be paid out just to bring down the total debt ratio, or it could be a credit card. So what's happening is a lot of this credit is getting paid off before the mortgage it gets secured on closing. So that's why our credit debt is coming down lower. Savings is up 28%. I think that's an historic high, which is awesome. That's great news for Canadians. A delinquency rate on financial services is down, I think, to 0.63%, which is fantastic. So that means everyone's steady Eddie. Everyone's paying all their debts and everything's going forward. So it looks very stable. That's pretty much it. So that's really good news. And just to kind of know a little bit about that, and then also interest rates. So the Bank of Canada, we know last week held their overnight lending rate at a 1/4 point, and this is the rate they lend out to banks, and the banks put it through their system and then charge us what they're charging us now. I think the 5-year fix is probably two and a bit now, or between two. I think it's about 2 to 2.2. I don't think we're going below that 2% just currently. So just based on that, so for me personally, I'm a little bit risk adverse when I do mortgages, especially on rental properties and personal properties. For sure, I lock in for a 5-year fix. I'll try to get the best rate. And then just lock in. I don't like to be in a variable, especially being self-employed. We don't know where our next deal is going to come from. We don't know when we're going to get paid, if we're going to get paid. So I don't want to be on a scale system where interest rates can come from like 1% up to 3%, because it definitely can affect the quality of life going forward. So I lock it in at a certain rate and go forward from there. Rental properties, I like to do. Depending on the type of rental property, if it's going to be like a long-term rental, something like my triplex up in Alliston, that property there, actually we did a 5-year or actually a 3-year, but it was open, so we can cancel it at any time. That's because we're doing work on the property. But once we do the work on the property and we subdivide the additional 2 lots out of it, we're going to lock that in for a 5-year fixed and just kind of put that out of the way and go forward from there. So that's what you should be looking at now if you're going to be locking into rates. Why? Because the Bank of Canada they're saying that they're going to raise the interest rates ahead of time just because of inflation. It also looks like the economy is back on track. So they say by 2022 they are going to raise their overnight lending rate, which will affect how we get our mortgages. And also America announced last week also, or 2 weeks ago, that they're going to be going in for an interest hike, but in 2023 ahead of their 2024 schedule. So it looks like everyone kind of pulled back a year. It looks like all the economies are flowing, and they don't want the inflation to take over to devalue the dollars and going forward. That's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions, always reach out. You can always catch me on the socials here, or just direct message me on my cell phone. Have an amazing day. Ciao.